So introduction. The introduction should be several paragraphs. So really between the introduction and the discussion, these are your largest chunks of text in a practical report. But the intro is summarizing firstly the scientific understanding of the topic or concept and linking the relevance or importance of your investigation, as well as highlighting what you're actually doing. You need to explain the scientific background of whatever your topic is. Basically, you almost assume that the person reading your practical report doesn't know the science of it. So if you were talking about collision forces, you would need to explain the background, explain some of the equations used in that, talk about what is a force, those sorts of things. If you're talking about climate change, or if you're talking about the greenhouse effect, you would need to explain what the greenhouse effect is, explain that concept so that they know, okay, I know what the greenhouse effect is, now I can understand what you're actually doing in the experiment. So you need to start off by explaining the background science. It's also really important to include why that topic is important. So I'll break that down in just a second, but there should be somewhere in your introduction that highlights, and often I would start with this, that highlights why we should even care. Why should I care about the impact force of a car? Why should I care about the greenhouse effect? If I can't see why I should care about your topic, again, there's less reason to understand why did you do this experiment. So your first paragraph should provide the context and importance of the report. This is the why should we care. Let's look at an example. The number of Australian road fatalities decreased from 3,798 in 1970 to 1,186 in 2019, despite the population increasing by around 50% at the same time. Understanding the physics behind vehicle accidents will improve the safety design of vehicles and roads. Very clear from really 2 sentences why this is important. We can see numerical impact. So this is really good. If you've got data, that's awesome. Throw it in there. We can clearly see a decline in fatalities despite a massive population growth. And then we've just thrown in a little sentence saying, understanding this will help improve the safety of vehicles and roads. So we can see this practical report is trying to improve vehicle safety and road safety. It's not just trying to go, oh, what's the effect of these 2 things? The second paragraph then, so you've done this, the second paragraph is now explaining the background science. So explain the concept. Whatever it is that's related to what you're investigating needs to be in that second paragraph. You're breaking down the science, use equations where possible, if they're relevant, define all the terms. You can have pictures here, all sorts of stuff. But this is where you show the scientific understanding. And then the third paragraph, and this is often really short, maybe just a sentence, links back to what you're actually doing in the experiment. So we've started off by going, this is why you should care. This is what you need to know about the background science. And now we go, by the way, this is what we're doing in this experiment. So an example. This experiment will simulate the heat transfer of a rocket's re-entry into Earth by applying a heat source to a metallic plate and recording the temperature of the rear side after 30 seconds. So I've started off by saying, this is why you should care. This is all the science you need to know. How does it relate to what I'm about to do? This is how it does. We're simulating that in this experiment by. And then that's your introduction.